Gaffer.
Morning, Ginger.
Isn't it about time you bought a new motor?
Don't talk daft, it's a collector's piece.
Yeah, Rolf.
Hey, Tish, you can't buy these. They're rarer than rocking horse manure.
He's the Gaffer. Doesn't need to take advice. He's the Gaffer. He's the Gaffer.
Morning, Bet.
Ah, I thought I caught a whiff of the fire and brimstone aftershave. Good morning, Mr. Moffat, sir.
I should have thought after 14 years you'd have learned how to say good morning without stopping typing.
Oh, it's the low bow. I get my nose jammed in the back spacer.
You want to hear a funny noise? Put your throat in here. Post come?
Yes, there's 3 final demands, 2 recorded deliveries about parking tickets, and 1, dear sir, unless from the bank.
Don't anybody ever pay me. It's like playing Monopoly in reverse. Every time I pass go, I have to fork out 200 quid. Is there nothing from Harrison's? It's weeks since we called you for those feed brackets.
Oh, perhaps we didn't get them this time.
We always get them. Not only because we do the best job at the best price, but because I pour so much whiskey down their buyer's throat they could breathalyze his car exhaust.
Ah, well, maybe he's decided to buy his own drinks from now on.
Well, Arthur Baker. It's a physical impossibility. He's got an impediment in his reach.
By the way, Charlie Hotchkiss wants a word. It must be important. He's been in and out like a bridegroom trying to catch match of the day.
What does he want?
Well, it's Friday. I'd say he was after a rise.
He'll get one right out of the window. He'll be looking to have a job at all if we don't get some more work soon.
Hello, Harrison's? Mr. Baker, please. Oh, he's not there.
I'll find out where he is then, dear.
Could you tell me how I could get in touch with him? She suggests we try a medium. He dropped dead last week.
That's just my luck. He would. Hope to God he signed the order before he went.
Well, all is not lost. I mean, maybe it's in a codicil in his will.
I'd accept it chiseled on his headstone.
So, what do we do?
We run up a very large phone bill if you just sit there bleeping about. Find out who's taken over.
Who does purchasing come under now? Mr. Arnold Hatfield, his assistant.
Oh, not that donkey.
I could ask if that's the Arnold Hatfield she means.
Yeah, I better try half a yard of grovelling, I suppose.
Could you put me through to Mr. Hatfield, please?
Hello, Arnold. It's your old pal, Fred Moffat. I've just heard the news about dear old Arthur. Dreadful. Oh, I was saying to Betty, my secretary, Harrison's won't find another one like him in a hurry, eh? Ah, well, I probably didn't know him as well as you did. No, to tell you the truth, I always thought there was something a bit strange, you know, but one don't like to speak ill of the dead, does one?
One could have fooled one.
No, I was saying to Betty, thank God Arnold's there to clear up the mess. Yeah, I tell you why I'm ringing you. With everything that's been happening, like, I don't suppose you've been able to send the order for those feed brackets, so shall we get cracking on them so you don't run out of stock to do the paperwork later? Well, who else is there? Joe Gregory? What, for feed brackets? He needs hammer and chisel to open a bag of crisps. I realise you've got to consider it, but... Aye, all right, well, we'll hang on till we hear from you. Two-faced little bleeper. He's only awaiting a quote from Joe Gregory.
Meaning what?
Meaning that our Arnold's married to Joe Gregory's sister and he's being pressurised to shove the business his way.
That's unfair.
Unfair? It's not only unfair, it's unethical. I don't know what this country's coming to when a nagging relative takes precedence over a good, honest, straightforward backhander. Luckily, Arnold daren't do it unless Joe Gregory gets down towards our price.
And will he?
No chance. We've learned enough shortcuts on that job to more than pay for Arthur Baker's indulgence. Not only that, but Joe Gregory's got a new building with wall-to-wall overheads to charge for.
Oh, so there's nothing to worry about, then?
No, only how to keep this place going until we do get the order.
Can you spare a minute, Gaffer?
Not now, Charlie.
Have I picked a bad day?
You couldn't have picked a worse one. Apart from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Well, what do you want? Don't stand there like a doorstop. Come on in. Come on, what do you want?
I've decided to get married.
It's not illegal, is it? I mean, it might be illogical, but it's not illegal. What do you want from me, then? A quick bless you, my children, or a chat on who does what and with which?
Well, it's me wages. Mary says she can't manage on them.
Can't she? Well, I can't see as you got much of a problem. Get rid of her and marry one as can.
I can't do that. Everything's arranged.
Yeah, that's all right. Once she's promised to take you for richer or poorer, you got her under the Trades Descriptions Act.
I should report you to Barbara Cartland.
Don't get me wrong, Gaffer. I'm not asking for a rise.
That's a bit of a coincidence, because you're not getting one.
I just want more money.
Now, why don't the TUC think of things like that? More money instead of a rise. It's brilliant, that.
I'll be willing to work overtime.
Work overtime, about the only thing I've got left for you lot is clocking on and off.
Then I might as well take this other job. Mr. Gregory wants me to start right away.
Mr. Gregory, what? You mean Joe Gregory?
He said he could give me lots of overtime.
Oh, well, so can I, Charlie, so can I.
You said.
I said normally I couldn't, but getting married isn't normal, is it? I mean, scientists have proved it costs more to run a wife than it does a greyhound.
But don't they say that two can live as cheaply as one?
Only a widow and her husband. Look, if you're going to get married, son, you'll need overtime, and I'm going to make sure you get it.
Oh, thanks, Gaffer. I'll tell Mr. Gregory I won't be taking his job.
No, you needn't bother about that. I'll have a word with Mr. Gregory at a suitable moment, like when he's in the middle of a heart attack. I suppose he's been chatting to you, has he, about your work here? Things like the Harrison feed brackets and that?
Yes, he seemed very interested.
Yes, he would do. Right, well, don't let me keep you from your knocking off time, otherwise it'll be the firm's knocking off time.
Oh, why?
But you've got no overtime to give him.
No, but how the hell else am I going to keep him here?
So what do we do now?
Well, for a start, this afternoon, you go into the factory, ask young Charlie when he wants to work overtime, and make sure all the others are listening.
But there'll be hell to pay. Just what are you up to?
Look, if we don't get that order, I can't even pay Charlie any overtime. Then he'll go and work for Gregory's, and we won't be able to do him even if we get it. So what do I do?
Nothing honest, moral or legal, that's for sure.
I get him to come out on strike, don't I? Don't you worry. Charlie won't abandon his mates on a sinking picket line. We've only got to keep it going for about a week, and then Arnold will be out of stock, and Joe Gregory will be out of the running.
And you won't be out of pocket because you'll have saved a week's wages. Why should I help your low-down, sneaky schemes?
Because if you don't, I shall go skint, and you'll be stuck at home looking forward to watch your mother as your eye spot of the day.
I don't know why I stay with someone who makes such horrible threats to defenseless women.
For the same reason, I don't swap you for some dolly bird who doesn't answer back. We'd both be reduced to working to relieve the boredom.
Hey, you, Gaffer. I'd like a word.
Our gallant shop steward. What is it, Harry?
About this overtime you've offered to Charlie, why wasn't everybody given a chance?
Like you. I couldn't see you wanting any. You haven't put in a full week's work for the last 5 years. I thought you'd join the 5.5-hour day Adventists. Your father-in-law isn't a member of the union, and a young ginger's doing plenty of overtime in the blonde from the sweet shop, so who else is there?
Look, there is not enough work to go round as you start doling out overtime to anybody and you could have a strike in your hands.
When can you start it?
Pardon?
Shall we say Monday morning, 8 o'clock, outside the main gate, if wet inside by the time clock?
Hang on. Only said you could have a strike. That's just a standard opening threat. That's called shop steward's gambit. Mate, I'll have to have a think about it.
Think about it. Whatever happened to the revolutionary spirit of the workers? If Keir Hardie was alive today, he'd be turning in his grave.
Yes, but he doesn't have my car repair bills to pay for, does he? I mean, it needs a rebore. I'll just tell young Charlie that overtime is against union policy while work is short.
Right, then I'll cut out the cleaning time at midday, because it seems a bit silly when you only get dirty again in the afternoon.
You are up to something.
How do you fancy time clock on the lavatory doors?
Huh?
So that after 10 minutes, the seats become electrified.
Come off it, Gaffer. We're not going to strike just to suit you.
Then I shall have to play it a bit dirty. From now on, this is a closed shop.
Oh, big deal. We're all in the union anyway. except for my swine of a father-in-law.
Oh, there's no exceptions. Old Jack will have to join the union again.
Old Jack will not. He was in once. He caused an uproar. My father-in-law has been slung out, and we are not having him back.
Well, in that case, I shall have to give old Jack the elbow.
Oh, no, you can't do that. I mean, my missus would make my life hell. She's on about the unions now.
What, the wife of a shop steward?
Oh, but she's also chairwoman of a conservative coffee club. I'm telling you, I don't have to go through it with a pair of them.
I'm sorry, Harry, my mind's made up. Nothing short of a strike will change it.
Oh, all right. I don't know what your game is, but I'll bring him out for a few days.
Make it a week and I'll make it worth your while.
No, I will ignore that blatant bribe until I hear more details.
Shall we say your car gets a free reball?
So will I if a union finds out. Now, about strike pay.
Strike pay?
Well, I can't go to the union for it, can I? And the strike won't last without it. So that just leaves you, doesn't it?
You keep talking like this, you're going to see a grown man cry. Me.
Where's Harry? Blowing up.
How's the strike going, Harry?
Oh, fair, only fair.
You sound like a man who's just won first prize in a suicide contest. What's up?
There is no enthusiasm among the rank and file, Gaffer. Take young Ginger. He's been an hour late for picket duty every day.
Yeah, well, he's probably finding it a bit difficult to get out of the habit. Has nobody tried to come in?
No, only Betty. Oh, and she threatened to belt Ginger over the ear for calling her a blackleg. He nearly went home.
Ah, well, I'll have a word with her. We can't have violent attacks on pickets, can we? Is there aught I can do to help?
Well, what they really need is a small victory to boost morale.
How do you mean?
Well, could you not order something so that they could stop it coming in?
Well, I don't know.
Well, nothing much. Just something symbolical.
That's not a bad idea. I'll ring Jackson's. See what symbolicals they've got in stock.
Jackson's Components. Baxter speaking.
Jackson's? Moffat Engineering. I'd like an urgent delivery of the cheapest thing you sell. Aye. Well, that'd do. Could you send one round? No, not one packet, one washer. Hey, listen, it's a bit urgent. Could you send it round straight away? Oh, hey, and your van driver, he's a member of the union. Lovely.
Brother Campbell.
Brother Wagstaff. Well, I am surprised to see you.
And I'm surprised that you're surprised, seeing that something is happening which I should know about as branch secretary.
Trouble? Here? Never. No, it's just an amicable disagreements over the undemocratic attitude of that friendly fascist Fred Moffat in sacking a workmate.
He tried to dismiss one of our brothers without proper consultation.
Slight correction, not one of our brothers, more one of our fathers-in-law.
Not your wife's dad. Not anti-union, Jack.
Moffat threatens to sack him unless he rejoins the union.
We are not having him back. Not ever. Never.
It's all right. Old Jack doesn't want to rejoin.
Then if Moffat wants to sack him, it's no skin off our rice pudding.
I'm surprised at you, Brother Wagstaff, condoning the loss of a worker's rights like that.
Could we have a short recap, Brother Campbell? As I understand it, Moffat threatens to sack your dad-in-law unless he joins the union. The union don't want him in the union. He doesn't want to be in the union. But the union is on strike to stop Moffat sacking him and making it a closed shop. Although, we want a closed shop.
You've got it, brother.
But your dad-in-law is on strike against your strike to stop him getting the sack. You haven't an aspirin handy, have you? Tell me, these workers' rights, what are being lost?
Mine, brother, mine. If my father-in-law gets his shoved because of union action, bang goes my conjugal rights. Not that we have done very much conjuggling recently, but
You're quite right, brother. You have our full support. Hang on, though. You're already getting strike pay. Where from, exactly?
well, to tell you the truth, from the Gaffer.
You are taking strike pay from a capitalist hyena like Fred Moffat? Well, that's brilliant.
Is it?
It's the bosses cause the strikes by refusing the just demands of the workers, so the bosses should pay for them. It'll be the new rallying cry of the conference. It'll be the Wagstaff principle.
But the bosses would never agree to that.
Then we go on strike until they do.
And I'll tell you something else. Any more phone calls like this and the name of your firm won't even go in the hat next month. Come in.
Mr. Moffat,
Guilty.
I'm from Jackson's. I brought your urgent order.
Well, how did you get through the gates?
Just drove straight through.
Did they not try to stop the van?
Wasn't worth sending a big van, so I brought it round myself. One steel washer.
Don't you do them in brass?
Yes, of course.
Ah, well, it's a brass one I wanted.
What, right away?
Yeah, sooner. Could you go and fetch one?
Well, yes, I suppose
It's very
so.
kind. It's very urgent, honestly. We can't get on without it. Like, you know. By the way, what sort of a car have you got?
It's a yellow Mini.
Yellow Mini. Thank you very much. Betty, come on to the picket line. Yellow Mini. Let it out and not back in.
He's bloody mad.
Right, you typed that quick. You only took 2 days.
3?
Right, put the cheque in with that and send it off.
But you haven't signed the cheque.
I know, I'm not bothering. Well, with the way the post is, we can bat it around for a couple of months and still get the discount. Who the hell's that?
Probably your conscience. Hello, Moffat Engineering.
Whoever it is, I'm in bed with a bad attack of death.
Even to Mr. Arnold Hatfield?
Yeah, I told you you'd have to ring us in the end for those feed brackets, didn't I? Shall I squeeze him for another quid each or settle for £1 worth of gloating? Oh, Arnold, I thought you'd be ringing. Are they? Well, surely they didn't do them well enough to pass your inspection. Well, what about the price? Aye, all right. Thanks very much for letting me know. Now, we are in Bleep Street.
What's the matter, then?
Joe Gregory's got the order for the feed brackets. I feel like a short-sighted head dog who just found out he's been trying to deflower a stiff airbrush.
Oi, Harry, the gaffer wants you.
Look, you can't just sit there refusing to play with your calculator.
At least I'm not smoking myself to death. One of these days, you're going to have a fall of soot.
Young Ginger said you wanted to see me, Gaffer.
Yeah, strike's off, Harry.
Off? I can't stop it just like that. I need time.
You'll have plenty, and most of it'll be short. Even you'll be early for work. You might as well tell young Charlie he can accept that job at Gregory's.
Oh, Charlie doesn't like working there.
Well, that's up to him. Look, what do you mean he don't like working there? You don't mean to say you two have been moonlighting there when you should have been picketing here?
Well, you never coughed up with a strike pay, so we're just making a wee bit on the side.
You great clown! The whole idea was to stop Charlie from going there. Now they've got the feed brackets and we've got a week that starts midday Friday.
No, not if we don't do any more for him.
It's too late. There, fellas will have seen how you do them.
Oh, I doubt it. Gregory spent most of his time keeping us away from the rest of his workers in case they found out he was paying us more. Only they did find out.
What happened?
They came out and strike. So, we just came back here. We've got our own strike.
Hey, well, that Joe Gregory's in a bit of trouble then. Because that job's got a penalty clause like an ingrowing truss.
Then why don't you offer to do them for him on the quiet? He would jump at a 5% discount.
2.5.
Off you go, then.
Right.
Go on.
You're a hard man, Gregory.
Then he's agreed?
All right, so long as we keep it quiet. Might have to give him 3%. But he's paying us in once so the vatman can go and get bleeped.
So we're all set.
I tell you something, it's a good job that Gregory's fellas found out about you and Charlie getting more money.
Found out nothing. I told them.
What made you do that?
Joe Gregory, he was getting in my nerves. Could you call me Harry? Was everything all right? Give me the creeps. I began to wonder what he was up to. I mean, a real boss is some crabby-faced old swine whom you can really enjoy eating. I mean, just like yourself, Gaffer.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to him.
Thank you both for your support. I shall always wear it.
Excuse me, Gaffer. Could I have a word?
You could have 2 and the second one's off. Now, look. All right, Charlie, don't just stand there. Come on. Come here. What do you want?
I'm not going to Gregory's after all.
Good. Well, the strike's over, so go and see if you can remember how to turn on your lathe.
I'm not stopping here either.
Charlie, don't try and give my ulcer a strangulated hernia. What are you trying to say?
Does picket duty count towards me notice?
Don't you understand? Look, watch me lips. The strike's over. There's plenty of work and overtime for everybody now.
Yes, but I'm setting up on my own.
What, you mean running your own business?
Well, Mary said, if you can manage it by sitting there doing nothing, then why can't I when I work so hard?
There's no answer to that, but I wish I'd thought of the question.
If you don't mind. Yeah, do you realise what you're taking on, Charlie? I mean, running your own business, you know, it's not all that easy. It's like trying to make love in a minefield. It's hardly worth all the worry.
We've made up our mind. We're going to have a go.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, if you've really made up your minds, I suppose the only decent thing I can do is to make sure you get off on the right track. I'll tell you what, tomorrow morning you bring your young lady round here, and me and Betty will try and show you what it's all about.
Oh, that's nice of you, Gaffer.
That's all right. If we can't help you, 2 brave young people on the way, eh? Don't bother to thank me. Just work through your dinner hour. Right, we've got an emergency on our hands. I can't lose Charlie. He's the best man we've got, so tomorrow morning I shall want full cooperation from you two.
It'll cost you.
It always does where you're concerned. Betty, you can be the diversion. Tomorrow morning, I want you to keep your eye on Charlie, while me and Harry get young Ginger organised to get cracking with his bride-to-be.
Well, how does Ginger come into all this?
Horizontally, with a bit of luck.
What do you mean?
We've got to split those 2 lovebirds up. She's a bad influence. And Ginger, he's our secret weapon. I mean, he's not known as Super Stud for note, you know.
You mean you'd let that young lecher loose on Charlie's intended just to keep him here?
Yeah.
Well, that's going too far, even for you, isn't it, Harry? Harry?
Oh, it depends on the offer. Well, shall we say 7 days minimum contract, double time after midnight, and a damp grass allowance, eh?
Yeah, you're on. Provided she's got a face like the back end of a camel. Mind, if she's a cracker, I shall expect a discount.
He's a gaffer. You can't try it on with him. He's a gaffer. Even when he's on the left. He's a gaffer. When his back's against the wall. That's the answer to it all.
Doesn't trust the politicians to the left or to the right, because they're all the same in office when they make it overnight. Resents the time he spends on paperwork and VAT. Keeps the money that the taxman doesn't see.
He's a gaffer.